When we visited the two tribes of Bukidnon, these patterns caught my attention. Asking about the meaning behind this, Salima Saway from the Talaanding tribe shared that these triangles in her soil paintings signify the ups and downs of life. For Bae Intawan of the Bukidnon tribe, the beautiful patterns and colorful designs in their clothes are believed to drive away evil spirits and welcome prosperity. This pattern will be our inspiration for our practice session worksheet. Before we start, let us first try these basic watercolor exercises and techniques that we will be using in the next activity. For the materials, we will need the following: a round brush and a flat brush, watercolor paper, watercolor paints. You can use whatever shades you have in your palette. We also need tissue and of course water. The first step in watercolor painting is to be able to lay a wash. So using your flat brush, wet the area of your paper. Load your brush with paint, then put down a broad horizontal stroke from one side of your paper to the other. In this second exercise, we will just practice using the round brush by trying to fill up the first 3 triangles with paint. For the third exercise, we will do the drag technique. So to do this, load your brush with paint. Then apply this to one side of your triangle. Then clean your brush, load it with water only, and then drag the pigments you applied earlier to cover your whole triangle area. Do this in the next 2 triangles too. Fourth exercise is blending. We will blend 2 colors in the next 3 triangles. So like what we did earlier, load your brush with your choice of paint, then apply to one side of your triangle. Next is load your brush with another color. Apply on the other side and then let the colors flow and blend. Do this again in the next 2 triangles. Fifth exercise is the wet on wet technique. So this means that we apply wet paint on wet surface. To do this, apply a flat wash, and while the surface is still wet, add a second color. Simple, right? So do this in the next 2 triangles. You may use other colors if you like. In the next exercise, we will practice painting lines. Load your round brush with paint, and then on the upper box, try to make a straight line. Don't worry, this doesn't need to be perfect. Practice 2 to 3 more of this. Next, let's paint another set of lines, but now using a dry brush. Clean your brush, dry it on a tissue, and then load it with paint. Make straight lines again, and you will see the dry brush effect. The next exercise we need to practice is lifting out. Load your flat brush and apply wet paint on top of our wash area. Clean your brush and then pat to dry, and then try to lift out the color. Practice lifting out circles and lines. Lastly, we will do the wet on dry technique. We will use the first 3 triangles we painted on earlier. Make sure that it is already dry before we do this, the wet on dry technique. So here we apply wet paint on top of a dry painted surface. And now we're done. Remember these exercises, then let's go to our first activity.